We'll get started and we'll introduce ourselves because this is what we do every month. We introduce ourselves. I'm Jeff Turcott.
Kelly Kurtz.
And our business is Simply Well Seniors, and our tagline is helping seniors navigate the journey to the next place they call home, even if the next place they call home is still their home. Or doesn't have to be seniors.
Doesn't have to be seniors, no. We're starting to see a lot younger people get on the motivation to start downsizing because they're just realizing it's less stuff makes you feel freer.
That's right.
So that's what we're really finding.
So
Absolutely.
This seminar is now, this is the third Wednesday. It's usually on the second Wednesday, but last week we were in Oklahoma City at a conference all about, because we're certified senior housing professionals, and we went through a course, and the organization that gave us that education holds a seminar conference every year. So it's about 130 folks that are certified like us all over the country, and so we got an opportunity to talk with other like-minded people that have. I was really surprised. A couple of takeaways were that people had the same heart as we do, and they go above and beyond, and they just get done what needs to get done. So after the conference, we came home and we had pages of notes, and we were like fired up. We're like, yeah, we're gonna help people all the time, and yeah. And so
come back to
Exhausted trying to catch up on sleep, but
right, yeah. And we slept at 8 o'clock on Monday morning, and
yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, it's a real thing. We know that how many people are struggling to do it, and so we feel blessed that we're able to have put this business together to be able to help people through the entire process, because we know that it is a difficult process.
So for you folks that know what we do or don't know what we do, and you recognize Kelly around town, so Simply Well, Simply Organized is part of the business that we started first, helping people get organized, clearing the clutter from their mind, body, and soul, and their homes.
Mind, body, and home, yeah.
We help with the removal of donations and recycle things that need to be recycled, and also consignment stores. Yeah. Then it grew into Simply Well Seniors, and also our real estate arm, where we coordinate estate liquidation, interior, exterior repairs, and we coordinate those services. We have vetted providers that we work with, that when we call them, just this morning, we called our plumber, he picked up the phone.
Yeah. How many times do you call a plumber and then it actually answer? And he says, yep, we can get over there tomorrow. So things like that. We've worked really hard at our relationships with folks, so we're able to do that. We're managing a septic Title V for a client who's in Florida right now but wants to sell his home. So we're taking on a lot of those things that normally you wouldn't be able to do until you were home, but we handle the project. So we're great in that way, that we can...
Project managers.
Yeah.
Right. And also we're realtors, but we're different, taking all these into consideration. And we also, Kelly is a certified senior move manager, and we can help folks pack up their home where they are and move into the next place they're calling home, whether it's assisted living or a condo, or moving in with
new
apartment, and right down to putting items away. That when you walk into that home, and we've gotten voicemails, oh my God, this looks like my house. This is beautiful. This is amazing. And so we, right down to taking out the boxes that we unpacked, and we hung the pictures, and made
so
the
it's
bed.
a mini version of their previous home. We've already gone through the process of what do they want to take. We've done a floor plan for them so we know what will fit, and we just help them. We all do it basically in one day. It's kind of like an HGTV show reveal when you walk in and the whole house is done in stage. That's what we do, and that's the experience we want for our clients, because we have had clients who tried to do it on their own, that we got called in later, that have fallen tripping over a box, fractured a hip or fractured their pelvis because they were trying to do it, pack and unpack themselves. And so we like to make that as seamless as possible, and our clients have been thrilled, and we've taken a lot of stress off of them.
Right. So today, the topic is decluttering and downsizing, navigating the journey of letting go. And I have in my head the Frozen song, "Let it go, let it go." Just like it's not so easy. It's just not an easy thing. So let's unpack this a little bit. No pun intended. the difference between decluttering and downsizing, and we took this definition from dictionary.com. Declutter, the activity of removing things you do not need from a place in order to make it more pleasant and more useful. We might have things that are very well organized, but it's clutter that's organized.
And you think about,
potentially.
just maybe if you clean out your closet and then you go in the next time, you're like, oh, it feels so much better. I know what's in here now, or I've pared down, downsized, it feels better. Or if you clean out a sock drawer or even a kitchen utensil drawer, you know that feeling of kind of when it's done, it seems neater and you can find everything. And so you feel like, okay, I feel better about this.
Right. And it goes hand in hand with downsizing, the practice of moving to a smaller home, usually, because your home has become too large for you or as a way to save money. So downsizing usually goes together with decluttering. Those two things can happen together. And decluttering can happen without downsizing as well. But Kelly is the quintessential organizer, and you can imagine everything has a place in our house, and you put those things away that way. So quickly, we'll go over a couple of things that strategies to prevent this.
Yes.
That's very well organized, though, isn't it?
Yes. It looks more like an antique shop
right?
than a house.
Or that's kind
That's
of
my son's room.
right.
Yeah, most of us have a son or daughter that had a room
looks
like that.
Or I don't know if your kitchen looks like that.
Yeah, I was just in a house that looked very much like that yesterday. So there's people living like that.
It's interesting that people that, now a lot of homes are going back to like the open shelving concept.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think it's going the other way again.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just keeping up with the trends.
Exactly.
Right. Yep.
So some of these strategies, they're simple things. Put things away.
I'm very organized. I
Yeah.
never put anything back from
Put it
when she took it.
away.
Yeah, and that can be tough. So if you have less stuff,
See that?
Like, is this like a psychological training that you can do for
Fall
people?
in?
Honestly,
it can be some,
reorganize stuff for people.
and then they don't buy into it and it's a mess again. So a lot of organizing, what I do with folks is I add a coaching component to it to really ask the right questions. What system would work for them? Because what's organized to me might not be what's organized to you. So trying to meet them where they're at and figuring out what level of organizing is better for them and doing it in stages versus like stripping everything clear and just having certain things. Some people that aren't used to that would freak them out. They'd rather have the room with the clothes all over the floor because they know where the stuff is. If you put their clothes in the drawer, they might not be able to find them. So a lot of it is education and meeting people where they're at.
Right.
Yeah.
Toss disposable food containers. How many people have Cool Whip containers that they have in the drawer? And then no, okay, all right, okay.
Yeah.
When things come from Amazon in boxes and packaging and the advertisements from the mail, when you bring in the mail, just sort through it. Don't leave it for another day. How about this one? Complete projects in and around the house before moving on to the next one.
You are describing my husband.
Well, it's a good thing this is being recorded because then he can watch it.
Yes. You can say, take a look. Right.
Use it for
Yeah.
blackmail.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm guilty of this too. There's only so many hours in the weekend and only so
Yeah.
many hours of daylight. So, but I do try not to tackle anything that I can't get done in a weekend because I don't want to see I don't want to leave the tools out on Monday morning.
Yeah.
So we do the best we can.
And for years, multitasking was kind of like a great superhero skill to have. So you try to do a million things at once. But now I think people are finding we're so distracted with our phones, with everything that's going on that it's hard to stay focused on one thing. So trying to pare down as much as possible can be very helpful.
Examine your shopping habits. BJ's is great. How much stuff do you really need? Do you need to store everything?
And how much storage do you have?
How much storage do you have?
Yeah, we have some folks that buy cases and cases of water, and it ends up being tripping hazards because it's on the floor and it's right near the laundry or it's right near the door, and so you have to be mindful of having too much stuff without a place to safely store it.
And just tidy up in the evening. I know sometimes at the end of the day you just want to sit down and watch the news. Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. Yeah,
So
put
when
dishes in the sink, things
Yeah.
like that. Trying to get things done so in the morning when you wake up, you're starting kind of feeling fresh again.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Not today. We're not going to
today.
not getting cleared up today.
Yeah.
So. All right. So we did a little bit of research about people's stuff, okay, and why is it that that stuff accumulates, and it's really about values and beliefs about stuff, about things. Some people have define themselves by what they own, what they have, what's around them. What's happening, though? So let's take a poll here. How many folks are in the silent generation, born between 1928 and 1945? Okay, baby boomers, a lot of us. Gen X, a few of us. Millennials, those are
Our kids. Probably.
Gen Z, maybe some of our grandkids, and then Gen Alpha. We have a few that are Gen Alpha, our grandkids. So the greatest generation, silent generation, baby boomers, have a different view of stuff than the Gen Xers and the millennials, especially the millennials. The millennials, they don't want stuff. They want to be portable. They want to be, a lot of them aren't even purchasing homes right away anyway, because they want to be able to
Have more experiences, be able to go live in different states and do different things as opposed to being tied down.
millennials,
Millennials.
the 42 to 27 to 42 year olds.
Yeah, and some of it's overlapping into the Gen Zs of the 13 to 26. So right in this range, those folks don't want stuff. Whereas these generations really worked hard for the things they do have. They saved up for that dining room set. It was custom made at Haywood, Wakefield, and Gardner, and they keep it because it's good, solid quality. So they're less likely to want to just get rid of stuff that they know they worked really hard for. Whereas some of these folks, they'll just buy something at IKEA knowing they're going to move in 2 years and they're going to throw it out or put it on the curb and let someone take it. So they don't value things as much as the older generation does.
Yeah.
They're also not they weren't taught from people in the Depression area.
Yes,
And that
where they were
Depression
scrounged.
had a lot of impact on those parents of ours or grandparents of ours because they
Yep.
knew what it was like to want and to need
Right.
and to take care of stuff.
To take care of the
Absolutely.
stuff, right?
Yes.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems that a lot of furniture now is disposable furniture.
Yeah.
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 It just,
I mean,
you
I
know.
can remember my grandmother I'd see her, we'd go out for lunch and she'd have a nice outfit on. I say, oh, I love your dress or your shirt. Is that new? Oh, no, I've had this for 25 years, but it looked brand new because she would come home, take off her dress clothes and put on a house dress or whatever, and they took beautiful care of their things. So today's generations, we just throw, our clothes are disposable too. We
Yeah,
just throw things out.
exactly.
I see that a lot because people, I've had kids say, we're just gonna back a dumpster up to the house because we don't want any of that stuff. And
Right.
I feel bad.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
I work in the home, so I know, I
Yeah.
appreciate all that.
Yep.
Yep.
The kids, especially
They don't want it.
kids, they don't
They don't
want
want it.
Right.
all that stuff.
Right.
The antiques and all that.
Exactly.
Yep.
I gotta tell you, I cleared out, first of all, I'm a minimalist, so I didn't find my statistic up there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But my mother, she kept everything.
Mhm.
And I had the lovely task of doing what you guys do.
Mhm.
If
Yep.
only I had known back then. But I did it, so I actually lived through it, and I am the dumpster queen, I'm sorry, but I 2 loads of dumpsters. I didn't want it, my brother didn't want it.
Yeah.
Yep.
What I could donate, I donated.
Right.
But
Yeah.
honestly, most people don't want your old junk.
Right.
And to everybody other than you, it's kind of junk.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's true.
It can be.
So I did that right up, and that will go to my friend's house.
I'm not her
Sit
because
there
I'm-
and don't know what to do.
I have, this is giving me a huge anxiety.
Oh.
And I'm like,
Oh.
so I had the dumpster coming, and my daughter's like, throw, and I'm like, that's a perfectly good suit, it's a
Donate.
wool suit.
Donate.
Or, I have tools and ladders, I'm like.
Like, yeah, you're talking my language. I know, it's good stuff, right? That's
Or
good stuff.
My crystal, what are you gonna do with my crystal? You gonna throw it in the dumpster?
Yeah.
I'm gonna call somebody who appreciates Crystal and say, hey.
Like, it just gives me, like, I'm already like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard, very hard, and that's what we're finding when seniors
I'm a
are.
millennial too.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Not clear, I mean, I don't have, not
Yeah.
by any means.
It's hard to watch your stuff go into a dumpster that you, like Arlene was saying, that you worked hard for and you know the value of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
Maybe skip over a few.
It's different personalities in
Yeah.
different places, different places where you are. Yeah.
So I tried that whole minimalizing and I did the whole downsizing from like a 3,000 square foot to a 1,900 square foot. I gave away my albums and then my kids want my albums.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
like, I had to buy them all record
Right.
players.
Yep.
Yep.
And
And now they don't.
and now I think of all my albums and I'm thinking, like, I see the Fleetwood Mac album.
Yeah, you had
And I
that.
said, somebody has that.
Yeah.
But they have it with my name on it because every single album I signed
Yep.
with my name.
Yep.
As kids, we would trade albums.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now that, so it's weird
Right.
because some of that is.
Some of it comes back.
Some of it's coming back. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So here's an example of kind of the how we consume music, over the years. I can remember my parents having this fantastic piece of furniture, this console with the record player and the stereo it was a piece of furniture and the albums were on the side of it. It was fantastic.
Do you still have it?
No,
No.
no,
Do you wish you had it now?
no,
Yeah. I know.
no. We don't wish we had it. Then of course we had the 8-track tapes. I actually have a. Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have a car that I can still put a cassette
That's awesome.
in.
Yeah. Maybe.
Then the big boom boxes, and then so who has a bunch of CDs?
I still have a whole box full. I have a ton of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you still have a CD player?
Well, my Bose radio.
Has
Okay.
one.
Those.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Because that's what we're finding. We have CDs, but people don't have the CD player anymore.
Bose,
I
thank
don't
God.
have any of those things. No
Okay.
CDs, no 8-tracks.
Okay.
But you have an iPhone.
Do you have a CD player?
I had a ton of those. I threw them away.
Yeah.
See what you guys are stirring up.
Yeah.
But this is good. This is really good. But now we all consume music mostly on our iPhone,
Apple Music.
Yeah.
and we stream it.
Music.
You
But
know.
I play
So
on a Bose radio. Like I
yeah.
And that's okay. That's good.
I do have CDs.
Yeah, I had those too.
Yeah.
You can't.
Can we change?
You can't do.
I would like you to have the senior one out.
It's just for everybody. Yeah.
So reasons why folks avoid downsizing. So
Yeah.
here's some quick reasons why. So the sentimentality, that's a big word to say. Sentimentality around for just in case items. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I'll fit back into those clothes. I know I will. I'm guilty of this, the sentimentality about just in case. I'll need that.
Yeah.
And-
Parts and cars and stuff and
Yeah.
things.
It's always the case a month after you throw it.
Absolutely.
Right. That's when you need it. It is true. So it's that, oh my gosh, I don't want to have to buy it, or I can't get it again if I need it. It's only specific to this thing, so you're hesitant to
That's
get rid of
right.
it.
Guilt. People feel guilty about giving away or selling items that hold memories or that were passed down to them. That's what's also happening, is that
The
things.
emotional piece of it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Things were passed down from their parents, and
Old family pictures.
old family
Right.
pictures.
Pictures are a big one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I won't lie, a few of those items are in my basement because I can't get rid of them as long as my mother is alive.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So
Right.
that's
So they will stay there.
that's partly of
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming as well. The sheer size of the task,
Yeah.
just going about through this stuff. The example I use about being overwhelmed is that when my son was, he was a messy room guy. It was a disaster. It was always a disaster, and it would get so large. And even when our kids were little, even before their teenage years, the task would just get so large. The room would be so messy they wouldn't even know where to start. So you finally have to say, okay, we're going to start small and we're going to take care of this. And then when Alex went off to college, Kelly and I actually cleaned out his room, and it was perfect. It was so beautiful. And then he came home, he was angry.
Like, where's my stuff? Yeah. Because we put it all away.
We put it all
so
away.
that's the situation of what our organized isn't his organized. So that's why it's really important. You're thinking you're helping by doing it, but unless you get the buy-in from the person, it's kind of like, an alcoholic. You can say, well, I'm going to throw out all the booze in the house, but if they're not ready to give up the alcohol, you're not really helping. You're just putting a Band-Aid over a situation.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a process.
So I shouldn't tell you under my bed. My spare bedroom, I have boxes of envelopes of pictures.
Yeah.
Boxes. And I even bought the photo box.
Oh. To
put 'em in?
Right.
Yeah.
About 20 years ago, 15
Yeah.
years ago.
I know.
I just
Right.
never get
Yeah.
around to it.
It's
Right.
true.
Yeah. Some people might have health or mobility issues, physical limitations. Is they've just said, I'll get to it, and then
And then now time has passed and they're unable to.
you can't even lift up a box. And then of course it's the it can wait mindset. Some people we've met have said, it's not going to be my problem. I'm
My
not
kids
going to
will
deal
do
with
it.
it. My kids will take care of it.
Or someone can take care of it when I die, which is irresponsible in a lot of ways. It's kind of an easy cop-out, like, oh, I'm just going to leave it. Well, we've seen that happen. We've seen the kids, after the parent dies, that are there trying to clean up the houses and how difficult it is. We've had one son that was actually just angry. He was just throwing stuff. He was so mad that his parents had kept all this stuff. And he was in Japan for the last several years, so he didn't even realize what was there, but he didn't know where to start. And then at that point, you don't know, did they stuff money inside a bread box? Is there jewelry in a container that they just are throwing out? So they have to search through everything, and the time that it takes to do it is just overwhelming. So we're trying to educate people to be responsible for what's your own stuff. Maybe you need help to do it, but to not just assume that someone's going to just do it for you, because that is like leaving a mess for people.
Yeah.
You're right, you can't throw that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I did private duty, we found $8,000 in a bag under a couch.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Old money, 70s money.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah.
And there was
Wow.
money in between books.
Yes.
Sure.
bookcases.
So
Yeah.
that's the kind of stuff, if you don't tell.
With aluminum foil.
My grandmother had stuff in the freezer. We had to defrost it to get it out. Yeah. So people did it, and you wouldn't think of that. You just clean out the freezer. And so it's
Right.
important to
Yeah.
know.
So we'll kind of bounce back and forth between this graphic and this list here. So the pattern of accumulation, it starts, we come into this world, we have nothing, and then the nurse kind of puts a little hat on us, and that's our first possession, right? So we have that. But then, needs get met first.
Did you save that hat?
No. I didn't.
Yeah, most of us have the little knit hat from from wherever hospital you were born in, right? Or the baby blanket that's all stained now. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
And our kids don't want it. We saved it for them, and they don't want it.
don't want it.
But you saved it all these years. Now they're launching 27, 29.
You package it up and you put a pretty bow on it and you say, this is your Christmas present.
That's a great
There you
idea.
go. And then if they throw it out, they throw it out. But
Right.
it's true. We
Yeah.
did. We saved it.
At least you don't see it.
Right.
That's right. So some of the pattern of accumulation, we get our needs met first. When we have our first house, we buy some practical furniture, some dishes, that kind of thing. Practical clothing. Then as our family grows, we have wants and we want nicer furnishings, but we don't get rid of the old stuff. So that goes in the attic or the basement. Your kids will use it,
and want it.
right? Exactly. We don't get rid of the cars. I'm guilty of that. Possessions of other family members gets left behind. A child that went to college, moved all their stuff into the room, and then went off for their job and moved out of the house, and all that stuff is still there.
Yes.
Or parents' stuff.
Then you have to ship it to them wherever they live.
That's right. That's right.
On your dime, right?
Or just give them the
Just send
bill
it to me.
for
Yeah.
the
Or else
Yeah.
it stays in your house.
right.
Right.
Or the relocation of belongings into storage units. Or if you move into a bigger house, you took all your stuff with you
Yeah.
from the other house. Now you have all your other stuff, and now you have new stuff
How many people
too.
here have does anyone paying for a storage unit monthly rental?
I'm not.
Okay.
My significant other is.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
His mother passed, I can't even tell you, but we probably could pay for my son's college if we got rid of that unit.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what we find happen. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but yeah, the people just say, "Oh, I'll deal with it later. I'll put it in a storage unit," and we wish we had invested in storage unit company because the money that turns around every month
Yeah.
is unbelievable.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like we said, it goes from birth, college, marriage, and all throughout this, you're still accumulating. But then when it comes time to divest and get rid of some of this stuff.
Yeah, maybe your first downsize when you go from the biggest house to a little bit smaller, you start to get rid of some stuff. And then your second move, maybe to an assisted living or to a really small or with a family member, you downsize more. And then, of course, at the end, everything you have is gone somewhere because,
And this is the graph of hassle or grief associated with each stage. It gets harder and harder.
Yeah.
as you go
Yeah.
through it. So, after the pattern of accumulation, then we have a pattern of now I need to get rid of some of these belongings, and people start thinking about downsizing. Thinking I can no longer care for all of this stuff, and potentially turn into an unsafe living condition, and heavy dishes in the cabinet up top you can't get down, boxes in corners, that kind of thing. And then go right into I must let things go that I no longer need. But then the question is, what do I let go of?
And where do I bring it? How do I deal with it?
Yeah, who wants it? Where do I bring it? Who's going to help me? And some people, like we said, some people are just, I'm not going to deal with it. Someone else will. Just, and we've seen both sides of that with folks. So, and like we said, we don't want. It's good stuff. That's my Kelly says. When did you use that in the last year? That's not the point. It's good stuff.
It's good.
I'm gonna get that stuff.
Yeah.
But do I need a half full bucket of drywall compound? No.
Because by the time you go to use it again, most likely it's dried out and you're going to buy a new one anyway.
Lowe's
So-
has them. They
Yeah.
have,
And you hate to waste money, but you also think, am I saving this? Why? Because it's just accumulating. And one of the biggest thing we see when we sell a house is old paint cans.
Yes.
Every homeowner has every paint color they ever used, and they think, oh, I'll just leave it for the new buyers. No new buyer wants the paint can.
No.
We've had, yeah,
And it's hard to get
they want you,
Right.
very hard to get rid of.
My husband got rid of it.
Yeah. Unless you just painted a room like last month and it's brand new Benjamin Moore paint or whatever, and there's still a lot left, and it's a neutral color, they might want that gallon. But everything else they don't want. And we've had to take paint to our house. So we had my car full of paint, and we have to, pour the stuff in them and dry it out and get it to where we need to take it. So
Yeah.
it's a big problem.
Yep. And the last two walkthroughs that we had to take
take
paint because you
Yeah.
can't
So
leave
we
it.
try to do it proactively now, make sure they know right up front, we got to get rid of this, let's do it now while we're cleaning out instead of waiting till the night before.
Right. So this is kind of a funny cartoon. the gentleman would open up the garage. This will all be yours.
Yeah.
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 Oh, look at the things, the bowling
Yeah.
balls, everything else.
Yeah, and how many people have garages that they can't put their car in because there's stuff in it? Okay. Yeah, that happens
They're
too.
not coming to my house.
Well, we see it a lot, and especially in New England, when you want to have your car in the garage for the winter, or when it's really hot and you want to keep it cool and you can't access it, or you can maybe pull in, but you can't get out of the door real easy because there's so much stuff. So that's can be a safety
It's all those
thing too.
projects that were started.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So in 2024, 1 in 5 American adults rent self-storage units. But what's interesting is only 25% of those are millennials. The millennials aren't renting storage units. They're not keeping things. They're the older adults are the ones that are renting.
Well, they might rent for a month or two while they're transitioning from one apartment to another, but majority is the older folks that are renting.
Right. So back to this chart that we talked about early on. So these generations are the ones that are currently downsizing, and they have saved the things for their children, their grandchildren, and they're going to pass it on. They're going to pass it down. These are the folks that are the recipients of those belongings and those possessions, but mostly they don't want it.
Yeah, so you've saved it, they want money, yeah.
Jewelry.
That's what everybody wants, nuggets and jewelry.
Experiences.
Yeah.
Their
right.
experiences.
I mean, in terms of what is physically in your home.
Yes.
Those are the things they're interested in.
Right.
They don't want the Christmas set of dishes.
No, or the snow babies, or, yeah.
Christmas deck.
So
Right.
you're paying for all this storage to save it for these guys, and they don't want it. So now you've wasted all this money saving things, and now they're gonna tell you, we don't want it.
Yeah.
So that's the cold, hard truth of it all,
Yeah.
really.
So that was a lot to really absorb.
Wait, so why is it that they don't want our stuff?
They're trying to,
Figure this out.
they are mostly looking to be free. They're looking to have no financial commitments other than maybe rent, but they like to move. A lot of young folks are moving to Austin, Texas, they're moving to North Carolina, they're moving to Colorado. They want to live in an apartment so they can close the door and go mountain biking on the weekends, or go hiking, or go on trips with their friends.
Right, no lawns.
So,
Don't wanna take
no
care of the lawn.
lawns.
Nope.
They don't want to do all that. And growing up, they didn't learn, because all of us as parents did all the stuff so our kids could play sports and do whatever. They didn't learn how to mow the lawn. They don't want to do it now. They don't know how to snow blow. Not all of them, but a
So that-
majority.
so- But that's our fault.
It's our fault, because we did everything for them.
Yeah.
You know, we spoiled them, trying to give them a better life and let them do what they were doing. And so, yeah, now they're like, we don't want this stuff.
It's also
But
part.
they're smart though.
Yeah.
They're smart.
They're not wasting their time and energy on
Absolutely.
things that don't matter.
Right.
Right.
They're not.
Yes.
They're wasteful.
They're filling backpacks and maybe a Foot Locker and taking it and
Right.
going.
Yeah.
Yep.
Setting up minimalist style.
Right.
Yes.
You know, so
Yep.
that they don't have to worry about spending their time taking care of their stuff.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's a whole different mindset.
Different
And
mindset.
it's freeing when you think about what they're doing. It's like, wow, you're just going to go with that? I liken it to, we just traveled, as you know, going through the airport. You've got your one backpack and you've got a carry-on. And you see the people pulling the big thing with wheeling suitcases, and they're trying to shove them in the overhead bins, and they've checked 3 bags, and they've got stuff. And then all of a sudden you're just dragging stuff with you. But the ones who just pull their backpack and get off the plane first, they are free and they're going. And that's what it feels like, to just, you got your stuff and you go.
Yep.
Because what I do for a living, I've quickly become a minimalist. I'm joking around because I'm not home long enough to deal with a lot of this stuff.
Yep.
But Doug, I have him, every time he goes to the dump, he has a box for the swap shed.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah,
swap shed there that
sure.
people put stuff in.
Perfect.
And there's this elderly gentleman, I don't know if he goes to Rio Ranch or something, he takes everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Put it in there, he packs it into his car.
Yeah. Some folks
And
do.
so
They,
they resell
I think
it.
that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of people are making money.
yeah.
Right.
It takes it.
But the wicker parties and all that stuff,
Oh, yeah.
and all this stuff. it
Princess
goes-
House and all the stuff that we bought all those years. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right. That's right.
That's why we can't be married.
All this stuff.
So,
Or your chocolate mold.
yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So now we're saying, okay, so now what? You've realized maybe.
Hired Kelly and Jack.
Well, there's one answer. Hire Kelly
We're
and
trying to
Jeff.
give you some
We're trying to
practical
give you
things.
some practical. You know,
Yeah.
it's just. So I'm sure you've all heard this. How you eat an elephant? One bite at a
Bite
time.
at a time. Yep.
That's right. You start small.
Yep.
You make a decision, but even to get to that decision, that's tough stuff too, because we've used all this time to accumulate these great things, and sometimes we get more attached to it than we should, or than we need to, and it's hard.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Do what Kelly said with the closet, and they felt great after. You keep putting stuff, putting more
You
stuff.
put
I
more
know.
stuff
It's
back.
hard.
Well, there was supposed to be a rule that if you buy, say, a new blouse, so you take the old one and you get rid of it, and you just put the other one, but you don't keep the old one.
Right.
See,
One in, one
I
out.
don't do that. I have to get rid of my clothes.
I
Right.
know. It's
Right.
it's hard.
Clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know when Jeff and I got married and we moved into our house, we brought all our clothes together, and we have an old farmhouse that we renovated, and the closet in our bedroom, it wasn't huge, but we just didn't really think of it when we were renovating that we needed an enormous closet. Well, we started bringing the movers bringing the clothes upstairs, and we realized, oh my God, none of this is going to fit in this closet. So we just said, throw everything on the bed, and literally got the big thing of trash bags, and we literally cut our clothes by 2/3 maybe as we're moving in, because we knew there's no way this stuff's fitting. And literally, we wear the same clothes all the time. But it
Probably
feels-
2/3 of the stuff that's in the closet now could go.
Yeah, so just realizing, that's another whole topic is closets, but how much stuff we really have that we never wear. And it does feel good to be able to see what you have and not have
Right.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's cultural pressure around consumerism that leads to this acquisition of the material goods and things that we don't need, and some people make the mistake of associating their legacy, what people are gonna remember them for, with their belongings, believing that their items carry emotional and historical value for future generations. Some might, some does, but not everything.
yeah.
So now we're going to move into the next piece of our presentation here, Kelly and I kind of have a chuckle sometimes when everyone has great suggestions. Well, why don't you just? We're not about why don't you just. We're about we're going to help you this specifically and give real specific answers for folks about what to do and those kind of things. So this is kind of a bonus session, and we've actually given you on your clipboard actual places that will take some of these things and what to do with them. So, but here's some strategies for downsizing, some things to think about. Number one, and we broke this rule recently with a client that we're helping sell our house. Think about where you're going next. Where is that? Where's next? Whether it's downsizing to stay at home and aging in place, or it's going to assisted living, or it's going to a smaller home, a studio apartment, or whatever. But think about what that looks like, even in your mind's eye. What does that look like? Where it's going to be? Where you're going to go?
Even if it's 2 years out, we usually like people to start a couple years out because it takes that long to go through things. So start to think about, in my next place, do I really think I'm going to need this, this, and this? And maybe start to think about paring that stuff down.
Right. Think about gifting items to family and friends or other organizations now, so they can enjoy it now.
And that that they want it. So you could say, I'm thinking of leaving this dish set or this curio cabinet to you. Is this something you think you would like? And they might say, oh yeah, no, I'd like it, but I'm not going to take it right now. Like you can kind of tell, I'm not going to take it right now. I'll take it later. That they really don't want it, and giving permission to them to say that they don't want it. You'd rather know than thinking they're taking it. But if somebody wants to take it, the joy that they might have to take it now from you, so that when you go visit them at their house, you can see them enjoying it. If it's a furniture piece.
Right.
I know for my kids, they grew up going to Sunday dinners at my parents' house. After both my parents had died, they didn't want all the dishes that they remember eating on, but my son wanted to take one of the mugs or one of the plates, just something, so he has one to remind him of it, he doesn't want the whole set. So things like that. They might take a little piece, but they don't want your entire collection of everything.
Right. And it's hard when you think you want to pass on something to someone and they say
they don't want
it. It can
You
hurt
feel
you
a little bad.
a little bit. Yeah. So areas to begin. A kitchen's always a great place to begin. The clothes closet, like we talked about. The bathroom. Kelly and I just went through our bathroom in the cabinet underneath, and it's very freeing. All the things in the back of the
all the little sample things you get, and the trial size, and a lot of stuff's expired. It's
Right.
just
Yep.
medications or ointments. If you had a prescription ointment or you bought Neosporin or something from 2018, and
Right.
you're like, okay, this is old. Would I really use this again if I needed it, or would I go buy a new tube? So periodically going through stuff and getting rid of it is good. We do it all the time. Even though this is our business, we accumulate clutter because
Yes.
it just creeps up on you. It's kind of a work in process.
Right. So, but more help might be needed in an attic or a basement or a garage. If we were going to be cleaning out, the attic, we're going to need some help because there's stairs to get up there. And then sort items: keep, donate, recycle or repurpose, or discard. Those are the kind of the categories to do that. So you have Zen. This is the one thing I'm going to keep, and everything else is going to go.
It is very freeing to have less stuff. Once you get through that process, it does feel good.
Right. Okay. So here's the bonus session. Okay. Everybody ready? And we wrote it all down for you too. Where does it all go? Let's talk about clothing. All right. High-end, on hangers, in style, in season, lightly used or new, or typically name brands. These are the places that will take these items. Upscale Consignment in Leominster, Southern Daisy Boutiques in Leominster, Belladonna in Leominster. You can buy some of my shirts at Belladonna. Dress for Success in Worcester is an organization that puts together business suits for women.
Yep. They do have a men's too, but more women like to donate than men, so it's primarily women. But it'll help women who are starting out new careers, trying to get go on job interviews and things that may not have the resources to buy nice clothing for work. So we kind of stuck to the Leominster area just because that's just where we're based out of, to just give you some ideas. To some people, this is like way too much work. I'm not going to put all this stuff on hangers and press it and have it ready. But if you've got suits that were dry cleaned that are just hanging in your closet and they're already ready to go, those are the kind of things that are perfect to donate, to do for consignment, because then you get you a little bit of money back for the stuff that you paid good money for, and it's helping somebody who's, purchasing.
But if it doesn't sell, they reduce the price on it.
Yes.
So it's like
Yeah.
0, and then they
Yep.
donate it.
Right.
And then they'll donate it. They
Yeah.
will offer it back if you want it back, but once you get it there, you really don't want to take it back, because the whole reason you brought it is because you don't want it anymore.
That's
So-
and that's kind of the point of this. And when we talk to folks that, and I'll just give an example of a client that we worked with early on in the process. We helped her with some downsizing, and we had help from someone that came in and took a lot of the items that had some value to them, and he didn't charge anything. It was kind of a wash, so it was kind of a one man shop estate sale. And there were some things that she said, no, I'm going to keep that. No, I'm going to keep this. No, I'm going to keep those end tables. I'm going to keep this over here. And then 3 days before, and we put this in the schedule because we knew it was going to happen. 3 days before the closing, before the final walkthrough, many of those items that she said, I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that. No, they're over there. And she said, I should have let those go, because now it's going to cost her money to get rid of that.
Do any of these people pick up?
None of the consignment
consignment
people
people.
do.
Right.
Some of the donation people will.
Yep.
Ginny's Helping Hand in Leominster will do pickups. The Epilepsy Foundation does do pickups. There's some other organizations. Restore does.
used to,
Now they're doing more clean outs and pickups.
Yeah, they, you know what, I contacted them, the Worcester,
Yep.
Worcester one.
Yep.
And I contacted them, and I don't know what your experience is, but my experience was, I needed to take pictures of everything that I wanted to donate.
Yeah.
They would look at them.
And tell you.
If they wanted them, they would let me know, and I had to put them outside,
Yep.
easy accessible, undercover.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
I was like, forget it.
Yep.
Springs?
Yeah, the Leominster
Okay.
one, we did this quite a few years ago.
I think it's
They went into
changed.
the shed
Yeah.
and pulled
Yeah.
the stuff out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now they want them boxed and ready, but you're right, they have to approve them,
They
so
had
sometimes
approved
it's a lot of work.
everything, and it took a period of time. Well, what got me the worst was, my parents didn't have a garage that I could have just put everything in and left the door open, which meant I would have to sit there for predominantly the whole.
A 4-hour
Right.
block or
One
so,
of those
yeah.
big
Yeah.
windows of time.
Yeah.
So they don't make it easy.
No, they
at
don't.
all
Yeah.
They
To
don't.
take something for free that they're gonna sell.
Yeah.
I understand why, they probably get a lot of junk that they
Yeah.
can't
Right.
sell, I get it.
Yep.
but
And they have
it's
limited.
not
Re-
easy.
Oftentimes they have limited resources as well.
And
to be
limited
able-
space.
Yeah.
One place that really is easy to do is the Salvation Army, at least in Fitchburg. Between 10 and 3 every day, you can bring household goods. So if you have dishes, glassware, all that, as long as it's in a box, you drive up, it's only 10 to 3, you get out of your car and you can put them in these big like carts that are on wheels, and they take most everything. So that is a good place. You do have to do it physically, bring it yourself versus them pick up. But it is a good way to get rid of glassware, because all those yellow bins all over the place that you can throw clothing and stuff in, you can't really throw dishes in those because they're going to break as soon as you put them in the chute. But
Yep. So there's some of the places that will
Yes.
will take the clothing that isn't going to consignment.
yeah,
We've been seeing the pink flamingo recycling bins around as
Yeah.
well. So household items, like Kelly was saying, Salvation Army, Household Goods in Acton is another
it's
place
another
that
great one.
takes, and their hours are on their website. The Restore, Savers in Worcester, Wheat Community Collections in Clinton. That's a great organization as well. They take household
And they
items.
do some pickups, but it's only certain towns. So it's worth calling, or you can reach out to us and we can help you try to get some of those resources narrowed down. But
We know in West Boylston there's a. Is it West Boylston? That you can bring things there.
Oh, their dump, their,
Yeah, they're recycled,
yeah,
yeah.
like Holden, Paxton, Princeton, the Wachusett recycle place. Kind of like where yours, is that where your recycle place is at your dump, Patty?
No.
No.
It's in
You're in Westminster.
Oh, Westminster.
in Fitchburg.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, they have a good one too, but you have to be a resident of those towns, or have somebody that is a resident in their car to drop it off. I
Right.
wish Leominster had one because it would be great. Someday, if we have enough time, we might try to work on getting that coordinated, but I don't know
I
that
don't
we
know.
ever will. But
Yeah.
it is hard to get rid of stuff. That's the bottom line. We've had a lot of folks that,
Fred used to take furniture, but he doesn't anymore because he's by himself. I used
Yeah.
to take pictures of things.
Uh-huh.
yep,
That
send them.
families didn't want at the Gables,
Yeah.
and then I would text them to him, but.
He doesn't
said he has
take
to
much.
hire somebody
Sure.
Yeah, to come get it.
Right.
Yeah,
We've had
It's happened.
one in Worcester.
Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's
We-
what it's called. Yeah, okay.
We've
Yeah,
had
the
good,
resource.
Right on Lancaster.
Yeah,
Right.
they've come to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've had good experiences at Cutiques for consigning furniture and household goods. At Gallery 56, a little higher end.
and yeah, like Patty was saying, Fred's is hit or miss. You send pictures. Most of these people want pictures of stuff first. If it's just dishes or something, you can bring it. But if it's furniture, they want to know, one, do they want to take it before you lug it all the way down there? They don't have physical space for it. So it is hard to do, but with some effort, you can get things done on your own if you want to. But we also serve as resources to help with all of that.
So let's talk about documents and photos and books. There's not as many drop-off bins for books, but there are scattered around. There's actually one in Lunenburg, right in
The
Whalum.
Whalum area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at the convenience store there.
There is a book box there?
Yeah.
A book box at the forecourt, yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
I pulled up with my car filled with books from clients' homes and
Was
just.
that pizza places?
Yes.
Yep,
Yep, Presto.
Presto Pizza.
Yep.
Yeah, right there, there's a box there.
Is that the Bay State Book Company?
I think it's Bay
Yes.
State, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
They will do, on some of the boxes, they will do pickup if you have a lot of books. You just have to call the 1-800 number and they will schedule a time to pick it up. But Bay State Books,
Yeah.
yeah, if you want to look at books. Yeah,
I've had success with some textbooks and stuff.
okay.
At the local high school,
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice, okay,
you know.
perfect.
Sometimes they will take things that,
Yep.
Yep.
it's like older computer books from my husband.
Oh, okay.
They took them.
Okay,
good.
Also
good.
instruments from the kids from when they left.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They took them there at the high school.
Yeah.
and needed them for the band.
Yeah.
We just donated a mink coat for one of our clients who passed away to the Leominster High School theater department, and they were thrilled to have it. You
Yes.
know, a really nice mink coat that, you know, because minks aren't, not, a lot of people aren't wearing them. It was beautiful condition. They're afraid to wear them.
Yeah, right.
But sometimes it's hard, you don't want to just throw that out or put it in the in the recycle bin, but the drama department could use it. And ironically, this woman was a graduate of Leominster High School a very long time ago, but their family was thrilled because now it's going full circle back to the school where she graduated from.
Yeah.
So it's a nice story and a good ending for
Right.
everyone.
We talked a little bit about photos. So digitizing photos, I'll tell a little story. Kelly's sister has a good quality digital frame, and her significant other is a photographer. He takes all kinds of pictures. And your parents had a great quality digital frame.
Yeah, they got it for a gift from them.
Right. And so sometimes when we're at Robbins, I just sit and I watch the frame scroll through the pictures.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
It's wonderful.
It just-
It's-
yeah, it's like your life in review, and you see stuff that you would see those so much more frequently than if you had them all in a binder or an album somewhere that you're never going to look at. So if your kids or your parents, if your parents are still alive, have everything, you don't know what to get them for Christmas, a digital picture frame, and then you can email the pictures right to their frame.
Right to the frame.
And
Right.
so
Many pictures does it hold?
they can hold thousands.
Yeah.
And they'll just scroll through,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
a wonderful gift. And there's companies
Yes.
that will scan the pictures for you, so you can put all the old pictures in, and you can add new ones. But it's a
Yep.
fabulous way, and it takes up like this much space, or a little bit bigger.
Right.
And you've got it all, and it's wonderful.
Scancafe.com is another organization that can help with that too. They do a nice job. When you're discarding your documents and your photos, there are local banks, municipalities, and senior centers that have shred days. There's a shred day coming up in Leominster. That's
November 16th.
Is
Yep.
it IC Credit Union?
It's going to be
This
at
is
the
at the-
municipal,
Yeah, sometimes our bank has it.
But the banks
Yep.
do have them, yes.
Yep, they have them as well. Yeah, DPW.
DPW,
They'll have
yep.
the truck there that
We
day.
just had a client who had a ton of shredding, and we did a mobile shredding company that came right to her driveway. It was $275 was the minimum. And you could have up to 20 large banker boxes, the long, tall ones, full of documents, and they'll shred it right in your driveway. There's cameras on the truck, so you can actually watch your stuff getting shredded. Because sometimes you think, oh, I throw it in, where's this gonna go? Is a paper gonna fall off on the highway, and now my social security number's out there? This, they did it, it took about 10 minutes to do all her documents, and it was done. So for $275, money well spent.
And not everything needs to be shredded. Things that have identifiable information on, things that have your name, obviously, your name, your date of birth, and your social security number. Those are things you need to shred, because those are things that are going to be,
Bank statements, taxes.
Yeah, those kinds of things.
those kinds of things that have the information on it. Most everybody can Google where you live.
Right, if it's
If-
just a postcard in the mail,
The most office,
yep, and
they
so,
do
it's,
shredding.
okay, yep.
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mail my package.
I have-
Patience with the
they always
shredding.
did shredding
I
now,
burnt
unless they cut
everything in
it
my
off.
chimney.
I have a new
You
one.
can do that.
Perfect.
You can do
I
that.
know, gotta check, but
Yep.
I burnt all of that
one
other
time,
stuff.
my sister.
Handful at
Yeah.
a time.
Yeah.
It took a while.
Yeah, you can
But
do
yeah,
that
if you
too.
have a way to burn stuff, that's a great idea. You can bring your box to Staples. Lana's saying the most office does it too. There's some places that
They
you can bring the
did.
book
Now,
in.
whether they stopped, I don't know, I haven't done it in a while, but I took stuff there and
Yeah,
it
Right.
was $60 and it was a ton of stuff.
ton, and
Yeah.
it's worth it, and it
It
feels
is.
so good to let
I
it go.
mean, a
Right.
ton.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's where those things go. Let's talk about electronics, TVs, microwaves, DVDs, computers, cell phones,
Everyone's
old cell
got a
phones, air
hard drive.
conditioners. Again, Leominster is having a recycle event on the 16th at the DPW. Staples, there's a fee that could apply. Best Buy will take TVs. There's a fee, you have to get them there. The company that we use quite a bit is Raw Material Corp. and Gardner. It's on
That's where we were.
West Broadway.
Yeah, it's great.
They take air
And
conditioners.
you may pay $5 or $10 for an item, but they'll take it, and they'll,
What does Leominster do on the 16th? Do they take the old TVs and everything?
Yes, I believe
Yeah.
there's a fee.
yeah, it's
for
a nominal
TVs.
fee, $10 or $15.
Yeah.
For each item?
For each
Yeah.
item.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it should be on their website exactly what's what.
Right.
But, yeah,
But you gotta get it there.
You
Yeah.
guys know there's a place in Fitchburg at the beginning of Oak Hill Road called American something. I've dropped a bunch of them.
Oh, really?
no,
Okay, that's new.
I'd have to.
For a fee?
Oh, down at the bottom by River Street, end of Oak Hill Road?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
It's like right behind the diner in that building. You
Yep.
go past the building and take a right.
Okay.
go in
okay,
there.
good to know,
It's American something,
okay.
Good to
They
know.
charge a fee?
just for the TV, I think.
Okay.
Okay.
They took
So-
laptops.
Oh,
Yep.
great.
Air
Good.
conditioners and stuff, I think, are no charge at the Gardner
At
one.
Gardner one, right.
Yeah, there's certain things on their website, they'll tell you everything, but it's a great place to pull up and drop a bunch off.
Yep. Sometimes a local high school will have a recycle day as well, or a shred day.
Yep.
But like we just mentioned, there are companies, for hire junk or trash removal companies. We typically have them on speed dial at the last minute.
Yeah, to come get
Yes,
the old
like
stuff.
The grunts. I used the grunts.
Oh, okay.
In Worcester,
Uh-huh.
Yep,
they took everything out of my house.
Yeah.
yeah, especially if you have a lot,
It's called the grunts.
McHugh's?
McHugh's,
Yep.
yep.
We use them?
we use them a lot, yep,
D&D will do it as well.
D&D's
Yep.
been to the gathers.
yeah.
So those folks, and they're not just bringing it to the landfill. I mean, they're sorting through it as well. So they're, if there's metal, they're gonna recycle the metal. If there's electronics, they're gonna recycle electronics. Those kind of things. But these are things that some other things that you can do on your own. But there's other folks out there as well that will do it. So we have a great book a great resource that we came across.
Yeah.
This book.
Yeah,
It's
it's one of the ones we're going to raffle off today. So this is, I've heard this woman speak, Jamie Novak, she's really good. It's one of those something for dummies books, kind of, and it breaks it down by category of what to keep, what to toss. It's really a good book to just kind of flip through and not to add more clutter to your house by having the book, but read it, go through it, and then pass it on to someone else. So whoever wins this one, it's a really good resource.
What the-
We can do that in a minute, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other book that I really like is called The Year to Clear. and it's 365 days. It's like a daily thing that you read through, and it gives you an idea of what to do each day and something to work on. So it's kind of a nice coffee table book to be able to take it slow if you just want to do a little at a time. And then, of course, my book, Fresh Paint, which is about clearing the clutter from your mind, body, and home. So this is kind of how I started in organizing, by talking about doing that. So this is another resource. But either one, any of these 3 books, we can do is pick the 3 different tickets. You can pick which one you want and take the book to go.
So no better time to start than now. Pace yourself, start small, then you'll start to gain some momentum. Ask for help if you need it. You don't need to be a hero on this, but give yourself some grace. This stuff didn't get accumulated in a day.
Yeah, so it doesn't get done in a weekend.
Yeah, it took years to get here.
Yeah. I'll grab the raffle tickets.
So just remind everybody, next month we'll be back here, November 13th, which is the second Wednesday of November, embracing caregiving, a vital state of life for seniors. And we have a couple of guest speakers. It's going to be a panel next time. November 13th.
November
We're on my way
13th.
back from Tennessee.
Okay.
All right, the first ticket I pulled is Kareen, so you can pick whichever book you want.
Yay.
We'll let her go first, and then, you want to pick the next one?
Okay. Let's see. Kim.
Kim, all right, super.
Giving that to my friend.
Marie.
Marie.
Decluttering, remember?
Yes.
Whichever one you think will be helpful for
Yeah, and then Lana, you picked the last
I
one?
think the decluttering one is too late. 'Cause I have to choose.
Yep. And it might just be the number.
Yeah, I
All right.
can't read it, I don't have my glasses.
All right, let me-
Fresh paint.
Okay.
I
All right.
was mesmerized by Kelly's presentation.
Oh, okay.
maybe.
Because I had everybody sign.
Yes.
All right, so the last one, it doesn't have a name on the back, but the ticket is 0346588. That'd be Arlene, all right. A year to clear, there you go. Super.
All right. So
Well, thank you, everybody, for coming, we really appreciate it. One announcement I do have is we are, in January, going to launch a Downsizers Club, and it's going to be a monthly meeting for about 60 to 90 minutes. So anybody that you know or you come in contact with that's thinking about downsizing in the next 1 to 3 years, it's going to be kind of like a mini support group where we're going to sit and talk about real specific issues about downsizing, have a little bit of assignments in between each monthly session to talk about easing people's fears of doing this process. So if you come across folks that are, if at the end of 3 years they're not, or at the end of the year they decide they change their mind, that's fine. But it's just to work with people who are kind of ready. They got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They're a little nervous, but they want to do it. So I'm going to be heading that up. We're trying to figure out the location where that's going to be, but we'd like to get that started.
What day
So
of the week you think it's gonna be?
we're not sure on that either. We're thinking during the week, so maybe like a Tuesday or a Thursday, since the seminar's on a Wednesday, but it could be a different day. If we have interest, we could poll who's interested and figure out the day and time for that. But probably be in the morning again. But we're thinking about 6 to 8 people would be a good amount of time to get people to help support each other and talk about the process. So if you have interest in that, let us know. In our feedback form, if you have time to fill it out, great. We appreciate any feedback you have. And we also added a new thing about having coffee with Jeff, coffee or lunch with Jeff or I. If you want to talk more about your specifics or just get to know us better or whatever, we're trying to set up coffee dates with people who would like to do that sometime during the month. So feel free to check that off. And our treat, we'd love to get together with you.
yeah. So
Yeah.
So thanks for coming, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.